Hello guys and welcome to the new video of the Python and API development course. In this video, we will be looking at post request in Fast API, how to build a endpoint or develop an endpoint for post request using Fast API. So in the previous videos, you have gone through how to build or develop a get request endpoint for your own API, and we have looked into query parameters and headers in get endpoint or get HTTP method. For query parameters and headers, it is same how we defined in the get request. Same we can define for post request also, but post request has one more thing. As we all know, when we were talking about APIs, that post request has a response body, so and a request body. So whenever a post request is generated, we should provide a body with post request. So we will do that here. We will build a post request in our API, in our Fast API app, and we'll see that how it works. So for this, I'll just go to the Fast API documentation, and I will look for uh, request body. Here it is, request body. So we have discussed query parameters and headers. I will look for request body. If I go here, it is telling me that if I want to use request body, I need to use this from pydantic import base model. This base model is a class, and then we will make our own class for our JSON body, and then we can get this JSON body. So what I'll do is I'll take this import statement. I'll put this here, right? I hope pydantic is installed already. Yeah, so pydantic is already installed because when we installed our dependency Fast API, all these got imported, right, or installed. Now what I need to do is I need to implement a class for my JSON body. So we already know, I already told you that JSON is JavaScript object notation. So now whenever a person will see your post request, he or she should know that what kind and what would be the attributes of the JSON in your body. Like what would be the keys and values that person can implement by himself. So let's just use this base model what the documentation has provided us with, and we will use this same post request, right? And then we will implement ours too. But first let's see. So it is app.post. What is my endpoint? It's slash items, right? And it has created a sync. Okay, so now what are async? Here you will see a sync there. Even if I don't implement write async here, it will work. But what is the benefit of writing async before defining your method or your function? So here a function is create item, right? And if I say I am writing async here, async means asynchronous. Asynchronous, what it did does it that even if anything is going on the server or any other method is running on the server, what it will do is it will independently run this method too. So it's good to always write async behind every function. So we will just do that here in our every function, right? We will write async. So as you already know that our all functions were working as we expected, but async what it will do is it will make these functions to work independently. If these function, if we don't write async, then this function will wait for other functions to first get executed, and then it will be executed if some function is already running on the server. But async what it does is it independently runs these methods without worrying about other functions that are there. Okay, so this is our post request. We will save the file and then we'll run our server. So what it is doing is it will take a JSON body from me in the request, in the post request, and it will return the same body, right? I'll just first start my virtual environment and then I will run my server. My server will be running in on 8000 localhost port. as you already know. So let's just wait for our server to get started. Yeah, so here it is. Our server has started. So it's under process. Okay, now application startup is complete. So we can go here, we can check. Yeah. Now what will we do? We will go to our documentation to see if our post request is there or not. Here it is. Yeah, it's a post request. It is with different color and it is using a function create item. So let's just open it and we'll see here when I press try out, it says that I should provide it with a request body which is required, and this is the format. This should be the format of the request body. Now I can change here, right? I can change my name to be Costu. Description, let's say 9AI. Okay. Price, let's just say anything. Okay, so let's just take an item here. Let's take Costu's PC. Okay. Description is Dell. Price tax, whatever it would be. Let's just write random number. And I'll send this execute button. So you will see it has returned me response body same that what I have sent to the server. But we need to see that how it works. If you see how the request is generated, so request is generated is it has just requested this URL. There were some headers. It has specified that what type of content it is, application and JSON content, right? This is JSON, and then hyphen D means this is the body. So this is the body of the request, and then I got the same response because what I have done in the post request is I have returned the same. What I am getting, I have returned it same. Now let's just say that how to manipulate this data, right? So you will see that I can't use query parameters or headers to get this data. Why? Because it's a quite a large data, right? If I implement name, description, price, text, all this in query parameters, then it will make my URL a big URL, and it would be a cumbersome for any developer to use that URL. And also, if you see, description can be of any much length, right? It might make a URL a lot big. So that's why when we need to take multiple values, and multiple values that may have varying size and are not limited to a particular size, small size, then we implement request body and we use post request for that. Now let's just say that I want to calculate the length of each of this. What should be the length? I need to calculate the length, right? So what I can do here is, okay, just let's just say return. So how this, let's just print this item first thing first. Before printing, I want you to know that this is coming in JSON type, right? This is not if you know Python, then you might say that this is a dictionary form, right? Yeah, this is a dictionary form in Python, but it can't be accessed as we access dictionaries in Python. So if I wanted to access it as a dictionary, I would have written, if I want to access the name, right? So I would have written item name, right? This would provide me with item name. But here, when we are using JSON body, we can't use it like this. We need to write item dot name. So I need to calculate their length, right? So let's just say uh, length of name equals to item dot name. Okay, make this a variable, or I would implement it in a dictionary itself. So it would be a very good thing. I'll say return value, a variable which is of type dictionary, and here let's close this dictionary. Yeah, now my second value is description length. So length of description should be equal to item dot description and their length, right? Length of item dot name, length item dot description, return equals to, my bad. Now what is length of price? So it's a length of price. Now it's an integer value, so I'll do is I'll say length of string. First I'll typecast it into string and then I'll say item dot price, right? And similarly I can say length of text, right? It should be length of string typecasting of item dot text, right? So let's just save this, and we have to return something. So we will return this return value only. Return value, right? Now let's save this again. Now what will happen if I send the same request? See, length of the name was 12, length of the description is 4, length of the price is 9, and length of the text is 6. Here you can see here are 12 characters are there, here 4 characters are there, here 3, okay, 8 characters are, 9 characters are there, yeah, 9 characters are there, and here you will see that 6 characters are there, right? So this was about implementing post request, but how did we did that? So now let's get to it. So from pydantic module, see written module pydantic, I have imported the base model class, a class base model. Now when I defined class item, this means that I am defining a JSON request that I can get on the server. So this kind of body, which is so here if I write a class inside the parenthesis of a class, it means I am using the concept of inheritance, which you have studied in object-oriented programming. The concept of inheritance. So I'm inheriting from this base model its property in my class item, and I have some descriptors here, that name, description, price, and text. So these are that name will be string, description will be string, and if no value is provided, then it should give none. Default value should be none. Then price should be float, and text, if no value provided, it should be none, like this. So this was a post request that we like directly got from the documentation. Now let's make our, now let's say I want to get a pair, like something paragraph or something string from a person, and I want to remove the punctuation marks in the string, right? So let's just define our own class for that. Let's say class punc. Okay, I will use base model here, as you already know how to define now our class. So let's just take name of the person also, first name and last name. First name, it should be string. Okay, then last name should also be a string. And then I will take the, let's say, the paragraph, right? The paragraph, and it should also be a string, right? So this is my punk class. Now what I'll do here is I will say I will now define a post request app dot post slash remove slash punk. Okay, and let's define a sync function here. Sync tab remove punk, and now I need the paragraph, right? So para is my class, which is punk class. So I'll just call the punk class here like this, and then I can say now I want to remove the punctuation marks, so I can first get all the punctuation marks. I have copied it from the web, so yeah, here they are here. So all these are the punctuation marks that can be there. So I've copied it from the web, and then what I can say is let's just define no punk a string, okay, which is empty. Now I will just parse my string. So if your, I'll say for element in punk dot paragraph if element not in punctuations, then no s equals to element. Okay, and then I can say what I need to return is no punk plus let's add a backslash n and plus I'll write by I'll just get you through what I'm doing. You might be thinking what I'm trying to do. Yeah, so here what I have done is let's just see what is our punk. What will we get in the request from when we will generate a post request? We will get a first name which is of type string, we will get a last name which is of type string, and we will get a paragraph which is of type string. Okay, now I want to remove all the punctuation marks from this paragraph. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just get all the punctuation marks from the web. I have just a string of these, right? And then what I say, I've defined a variable no punk name, which is an empty string. Now I am parsing the paragraph that I am getting. So as I've already told you that we get JSON body. So if I want to extract the paragraph from this JSON body, paragraph key, the value of paragraph key, I need to write my JSON body's name. Okay, so I will write para. I will write para here. Para, yeah. So para is my JSON body, right? So para dot paragraph. The paragraph key, its value from the paragraph or the para JSON body, I need to extract the paragraph value. So it would be in para dot paragraph. Well, like here the name was in item dot name, the description was in item dot description. Similarly, the paragraph will be in para dot paragraph, and then I am taking every element of this paragraph and I am checking if this element is not in all these, or that means it is not a punctuation mark, then I am adding it to this empty string. And then at so if it would be in this any of this punctuation mark, it will not be added to the string, right? And at the end what will happen is I will get a string in the no punc, which will not have any punctuation marks. Now what I'm returning, I'm trying to return is the first the paragraph, then a new line character I have added here, and then I have said that by who has written this paragraph by the first name space last name, right? Okay. Here I have a plus sign. Let's just save this and yeah, so our server is reloaded. I'll just reload my Swagger UI. And you can see here that I have this remove punc request method here. I want to try it out. So just my first name, my last name, and let's just give a paragraph with punctuation marks. So hello guys, some punctuation marks I will try to add here. Okay, hello guys. Uh, hope I want to write first. I'll add some punctuation mark to it. And some punctuation mark. Then I'll write guys are enjoying. Okay, now let's just execute this. We'll see if we have executed it properly or not. Oh, so it's given me a internal error. Let's see what. No attribute. Okay, again I've done a mistake. I don't want to return punc dot first name. My first name will be in the JSON body, which is para, right? So I'll change it here. I'll reload this. Now it should give me the correct value. Let's just check. Hello guys, hope you guys are enjoying. And okay, so the API doesn't understand the new line character, or the Swagger UI doesn't understand the new line character. So we will just say a space here, okay? And then we will just save this. And hello guys, hope you guys are enjoying. I wanted to write this. I'll execute this. Hello guys, hope you guys are enjoying by Kaustubh Pandey. So that's what we have done. We got this post request, we got a body, while we didn't use any get request. Why? Because this kind of values we can't use query parameters to get or headers to get, because it will make our get request a very big request, and it will be cumbersome for the server and the developers to extract it out of headers or query parameters. So we use response body when we are sending a bigger data. Okay, so here this is how we implement post request in Fast API. I hope you guys understand.